Hello, seedlings of light. Welcome back to Black, Gray, and White. I'm Bailey.
I'm Sandy.
And we're here for a enthralling episode or YouTube. I almost said podcast. Welcome to the show of Ayurveda. So we're really repping this Idiot's Guide to Ayurveda today by Sahara Rose Katabi.
I don't know. I do the rose.
So Rose, this is by Rose, and this is wonderful. Everything that you would ever need to know about Ayurveda. And my mom is the in-home expert, so I will let her take it from here.
So this is what, when I went to Shamazu, she was specialized in Ayurveda. And Ayurveda, I'm just going to look at my notes because I didn't memorize them all. But Ayurveda is derived from the word Sanskrit, Ay meaning life or longevity, and Veda meaning science or sacred knowledge. And it is known as an ancient Indian art of healing and prolonging life. And they consider yoga a sister to Ayurveda. Ayurveda is prevention as well as promotion of the body's maintenance and balance. Basically, it means to have your ease in your body and not have dis-ease for a person. And they have, where they believe the secret to the health lies in your digestive system. They call it digestive fire. Ayurveda encourages you to be active participant in your own journey towards healing. This involves learning the doshas.
Doshas.
And they believe that there are five elements: wind, air, fire, water, and earth. And they have three doshas: Vata, which is the wind and the air, and ether. Pitta is the fire and water, and Kapha is water and earth energy.
And what is ether?
Air, movement.
I thought ether was the spirit.
I don't know that answer.
Tune in soon and we will answer our own questions. Killing it. So what I got is because we did separate notes, so I did a quick reading, and they say if you're healthy, you're full of Ojas, which is OJAS, which is life force, which is vibrant, energized, balanced, and peaceful. And unhealthy, you're full of Ama, which is toxicity, exhausted, lazy, smelly, and sick.
And Ama can be one of the symptoms of excess Ama that I had was your fluids. Like I would say, well, I'm not sick because my snot isn't green, yellow, and I had white, clear, and that can be a start of excess Ama.
I didn't know that. Fun fact about Ama.
Oh, any other notes in there?
I mean, we go into the doshas. So Pitta, which is fire and water, which is what I am, operates the stomach and all of transformation. I think they call it your digestive fire is your Pitta. What do you got on Pitta?
It directs the stomach, small intestines, blood, liver, gallbladder, and spleen. Pitta is hot, sharp, oily, liquid, and light.
I don't know if you would have guessed this by my red hair, but I run a little hot, so that one goes right on for me. And then my mom, your Vata, which is air, ether, nervous system, and all movement.
Exactly. And I have Vata is light, dry, mobile, cold, rough, sharp, subtle, flowing, and clear. Vata promotes the movement in the body, including the heartbeat, gastrointestinal tract, lungs, and diaphragm.
And so one problem that you run into with your Vata being keeping it balanced is staying grounded because you're made of mostly air, right? Is that? Mm-hmm. And how do you do that? How do you keep your Vata healthy?
So when I had talked earlier about digestive fire being out, I was not eating correctly for my dosha, and I had to change to hot and moist things. So that's grounding.
Mm-hmm. The hot and the moist. And then for me, mine is cool because they want to cool my fire. Yeah. So I eat a lot of cold sandwiches, salads, that kind of stuff.
Watermelon, the red fruits and vegetables I don't know if there's red vegetables. I guess tomato.
Beets
are really good for you.
Beets aren't good. And then the last one is Kapha, which is earth, and water. And it regulates structure and all stability. And Kapha, so cool thing about these doshas are you have all of these doshas inside of you. So they have a fun little quiz that you take that asks about like your body type, your face structure, I mean your bowel movements. Like it gets into it, and it'll tell you what dosha you are. And so you have a forefront dosha. What's that called? The
primary, secondary, and your third. And you can have two that are same. So you could be
Pitta Vata.
Dual dosha.
Mm-hmm. Dual doshas. And they actually change. So you find like your primary dosha, which is what your body's supposed to be at. But like when I first took this, I was actually scoring heavier on Kappa because I was overweight and I was really heavy. So I had a big imbalance that way. And then when I got my dosha centered, I ended up being more Pitta heavy.
And so when you take the quiz, the quiz I always recommend is the Banyan Botanicals, which is an Ayurveda online store. And so they sell everything, but they also have a great resource area on their page. Mm-hmm. And I really recommend that to start out with.
I'll put the link in the description. So definitely take it. It's a free quiz. I think you have to put your email in and they email you the results, but they're wonderful.
And to remember when you take the test, kind of take the test on an average of your life cycle, your life. That the reason is, like you said, you scored high on Kappa because that was your imbalance. Mm-hmm. So if you want to know your balance of your doshas, do what's long term, not what's happening right now, because you will have that imbalance. And we can go into some of the imbalances for those doshas. Like for me, an imbalance is the body loses weight, the lips become chapped, the voice becomes too quick and rambles. So if you're a fast talker, that usually means you're a Vata. Kind of fun fact. The person feels chilled, the skin becomes rough, pain in the body is sharp like a prick of a needle, easily affected by the feelings of others. There is an inability of the mind to focus. The eyes and the mind become vacant. And so the opposite of that would be the balances are, the bones are narrow. Let's see. A balance is the bones of the body are narrow, the skin and the eyes have a tendency to become dry, quick movements, often with lack of focus. A cold person becomes chilled, and it goes in.
And then like my Vata, or my Pitta, sorry. So my mom's Vata, I'm Pitta dominant. And one of my things that I notice when my doshas aren't balanced is I get real sweaty. Like I just, it'll just be a constant state. And that's how I know I need to cool it down.
Going. And the Pitta imbalances are bloodshot eyes, poor vision, skin rashes, acne, demanding, perfectionism, workaholic, acid in the stomach, early graying, anger, toxins in the blood, overly intense, critical.
That's not a problem I have.
Aggressive and judgmental. And then the balance is the opposite, functioning, healthy glows.
And then, so Kappa, let's run over Kappa really quick.
And Kappa is excess mucus, thick white tongue coat, slow, sticky, sluggish bowel movements, high body weight, difficulty rising in the morning, feeling slow, foggy, dual, lethargic, or heavy, easily attracted or possessive, overly sentimental, complacent or stubborn, tendency for emotional overeating.
Okay, so this is just like we're going to do a lot of videos about Ayurveda because that's something we practice pretty regularly in our lives. Within the next 2-3 weeks, we're going to take a cleanse. Oh, and that's super fun. So we'll update you on all of those funness. So it's the cleanse. The cleanse regulates your digestive tract back to its normal standing, right? That's the purpose.
Cleans your kidneys and your liver and your body of all toxins, environmental. Sometimes, we'll get in emotional. Yeah. And you do it in, just like you clean your house, spring clean, fall clean. So you change when the seasons change. And you're giving the body a chance to get rid of all the winter energy, the heaviness, and lighten up for the ether, for the spring. And in the fall, the opposite.
Yeah, and so basically there's no sugars, no fat. Like it's a good time when you're used to having those in your diet. So it's
7 day.
It's 7 days. So we will update you each on our progress on that, and that'll be an upcoming video. But take your take the dosha quiz. Let us know what you are. Let us know some questions and where you want us to get more into it. It's such a broad subject that it's hard to piecemeal it. Do you have anything else to add?
I did. I had a fleeting thought, and I can't remember. The doshas do go down to more levels, but we will only work on the 3. And then we can also I have a couple of, when we get to the cleanse, I have a couple of resources for that. But I'll post 2 Ayurveda specialists that I like, and we like this book. And our resources for Ayurveda.
Yeah, Ayurveda for Dummies, Idiot's Guide. So it's wonderful. It piecemeals it out so if you don't have a lot of knowledge, it doesn't feel like you're trying to catch up. She does a wonderful job like breaking it into bits.
Grab one
and
of the
pieces.
little spots on there. Can you?
What?
Like that, not a definition, but a tip. Where's her? She has great tips. I can tell you I've read a lot of Ayurveda resources, and this is the most practical resource there is. I felt there is the most practical resource.
Ayurvedic alert. If you are trying to lose weight, make sure you're sleeping enough. When you are lacking in sleep, you are more likely to overeat and gain weight.
Yeah, those are the kind of... She's got great pointers throughout the book with that. Ayurveda believes in certain times to exercise, so each...
And it goes with, so like Kappa time, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. You start the day in the Kappa period. Kappa is the earth energy, the time when the sun rises and begins its cycle. You should feel grounded, peaceful, and sometimes lethargic in the morning due to the increase of Kappa energy. So it goes through, and I guess maybe the next video we can do is what to eat for your dosha. That's a broad subject.
That's another big one. There's a lot of information, and but this is where I started on my health journey, one of the factors, and I like Ayurveda because it starts getting you thinking a little bit differently, and it is different than all the other diet, eating methods out there, but it has worked really well for me.
It has, and I do agree. I'm not as strict with it as I probably should be, and I would notice a big difference if I was. But I do hate to admit that the cleanse is wonderful, and you feel 1,000% better after you do it for a week. And tune in to the cleanse video because I have some fun stories about my experiences with the cleanse. So thank you so much for watching. Yes. Take the quiz. Let us know what you are, and let us know if you have any specific questions. I mean, we have a lot of information. It helps in almost all aspects of your life. So, blackgraywhite1@gmail.com.
Scroll to the bottom. Leave your comments. We love to hear from you.
All right, sending all the love and light. Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, what's next? What video do you want to do next?
Well, the 6 tastes.
Of what?
Ayurveda.
Did you want to do another Ayurveda video?
Well, I thought we could.
Yeah, go ahead. You run it off. Ready?
Well, there was something I wanted to say about the last one, and it was Christian related.
I'm sorry. We don't have to do more. We can just do one today. I think, right? Like, that's the whole point, is if we do one.
Well, I think we can do it with the same because it's, I think it's okay to keep doing with Ayurveda. Yeah. Just the way we're sitting and going.
Are you ready to do another?
Yeah.
Do you want to change shirts?
I don't think so. Let's just keep going because...
Hello, seedlings of light! Welcome back to Black, Gray, and White. It's Ayurveda Part 2. I'm Bailey.
I'm Sandy. And this time we're going to talk about Ayurveda and tastes.
And tell me, what are the different tastes?
So Ayurveda uses the 6 tastes for a balanced diet. And all the foods can be categorized in one or more of the 6 tastes. The 6 tastes are composed of, again, the 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. Sweet is the earth and water, and those are sweet foods: grains, breads, pasta, oil, milk, and fat.
My favorite.
Sour, earth and fire. tomatoes, vinegar, cheese, yogurt, citrus, and pickles. Salty, water and fire, salt, soy sauce, tamari, and cheese. Pungent is the fire and air, which is dark green leafy vegetables, turmeric, and fenugreek.
Least favorite.
Astringent, air and earth, poultry, beans, apples, cabbage, broccoli, and potatoes. And a lot of people will also talk about nightshade vegetables, and you can Google and get a list of nightshades, which are the potatoes.
It's root vegetables, correct. Anything that is grown in the ground for a long time that has heavy starch. Root potatoes, beets, sweet potatoes.
Yeah, and I think tomatoes are in there, but I'm not sure.
Right.
And people will say if you reduce your nightshades, it reduces inflammation in your body. And so arthritis, those type of autoimmune diseases. But again, see your Shamay Su, your Ayurveda specialist, to see what's right for you
and for your doshas. So how do these interact with the doshas?
So it balances them. So when you eat, and they say to have the sweet, sour, salty, pungent, astringent with each meal. So when you eat all those each meal, you're nurturing each one of your doshas and taste all your taste buds to keep a balanced diet. So you don't crave or do things like that. So you're not craving super sweet, you're not craving super salty.
That was the garage door. Welcome to real life. We've got great lighting on the porch today, so we're killing it. So will you give us an example of like how you would balance a meal for your Vata with those tastes?
Let me just do a little note here. Let me just read my note before I forget.
Yeah.
When you know which of the three doshas you want to bring into balance, then proportionately you will put more attention on those tastes, and be mindful when you're eating. Focus on the food and chewing. This stimulates the body to accept the food and taste in the stomach and can tell the brain when it's full. So a lot of things to eat for me to balance my Vata. I had talked about in one video, I went from whole wheat dry toast to peanut butter. And I tried, people told me that I had a gluten allergy, so I shouldn't be eating wheat. That was the problem. And when it came out, it was just I needed to have moisture. So I changed from salads to soups, which I always did like soups. I'm the only one full of redheads in the house, and I'm the only one that likes my soup.
My dad's a pitta too.
Yeah. And so that's how I changed my diet. I would have a salad because, right, wanted to lose that weight, have to eat that salad. And come to find out, a homemade soup was way better for me. And it started balancing out my digestive system. And it does take a while. I will tell you
would say
that
6 to 8 months. I mean, you were...
Yeah. It when you've been in dis-ease for so long, it takes a while to balance that out.
And all those toxins. A funny thing that you've noticed when doing the cleanse is, so you've been doing this for 7 years now, twice a year. About is my math
10,
right? 10 years.
15.
So she's probably done 20 to 30 cleanses because you do it twice a year. My dog just got here. He's happy to be here. Yes, he is. Hi, Bubby Butt. Yes, hi. So, and and my boyfriend's here too. So welcome to the fun. So one of the funny things you told me is when you first started doing the cleanse, it was all the toxins in her body. And now that she's done it 20, 30 times, you're starting to purge emotions.
Yeah, layers. That onion. Back to that onion. Shrek and the onion.
Peeling it.
And one of the things in the cleanse is what they call khichdi. And it's a traditional cleansing food by Ayurveda, but it's really nice to balance your digestion. And it's split mung beans and white basmati rice. And with the two of those in there, it's the perfect protein. So that's why you can eat that, especially your vegans out there. It's the perfect protein. And it's great. That's why you don't get the fats in the meat when you have a cleanse. You eat khichdi.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. My dad came up with a fun name. He changed the K to a B, so that's always fun. That's a fun, lighthearted thing we do to keep on the cleanse. So
yeah, a little witchery. It again, because it's cleaning out all the toxins. So when you get the sugars and the salty while you're craving those, it's hard to give those up.
And so a good balanced meal for you is you start your day with peanut butter toast, and then what do you have in for soup?
No, I have something, like today, I had leftover scalloped potatoes and ham.
Oh yeah, that was good. I had some of that.
Yeah, so it was kind of creamy, like a cream soup, right? It was a little bit on the creamy side. And then I have my tea. I don't drink a lot. And I take my herbs. Turmeric, ginger, a lot of those are all really good to add to your teas if you're taking. I can say that when I first started my imbalance, my Vata, I had cold feet and cold hands. Mm. And being from Montana, I just felt I would always have cold feet, cold hands. But you can eat or drink cinnamon tea, and the cinnamon opens up your membranes and warms you.
Oh, yeah, that is fun. So I'm just reading, once again, from the Idiot's Guide to Ayurveda. Wonderful book. 10 out of 10 recommend. Mama Sandy.
Oh, yeah.
Bailey. 10 out of 10 recommend. So I'm just going to read some from how the foods interact. So pittas are oily in nature, so they should not use excess oil in their diet. However, you want moderate amounts because they do lubricate the body. So pittas should favor extra virgin raw coconut oil, extra virgin raw olive oil, ghee. Oils pittas should avoid canola oil, corn oil, peanut oil, the list goes on. And then spices for pittas. Pittas love spicy foods because they stimulate their internal fire. However, it does throw them off balance. So spices pittas should favor basil fresh, cardamom, cinnamon, coriander, cumin, dill. Spices pittas should reduce cloves, garlic, peppers. And I really struggle with reducing garlic. So that's one thing that I've had to be more cognizant about.
And that's why it's really nice for this, if you're looking for a lifestyle change to incorporate, I would recommend
doing all of that. And then, so do you mind if I read some for Vata and Kapha? So Vatas do very well with grains generally because they are easy to digest, grounding, and sweet in taste. So grains Vata should focus on basmati rice, brown rice, oats, quinoa. Grains you should avoid any cold, dry, or puffed grain.
And I can tell when I'm eating something, like I'll have a sandwich, and I'm not a big sandwich person, so I try to eat the ones with the juice, French dip, and those type of things. But
hot sandwiches.
Yeah, more hot sandwiches, and it will start getting stuck in my throat. And so I'll have to drink more to counteract because it's a dry food for my digestive system. And when I'm eating to my dosha, I don't have that problem.
Because you're all balanced.
Yep, because I have that liquids. I have those moistures. Moisture.
And then I'm just going to touch on Kapha. So Kaphas have weak digestive systems, so it's best for them to lightly cook their vegetables via steaming or roasting, making it easier to digest. Vegetables Kaphas should favor: artichokes, asparagus, beets, bell peppers, broccoli. Vegetables that Kaphas should reduce: olives, potatoes, pumpkins, squash. So how it breaks it down, and this list, it's a very intensive book.
It goes on and
We'd be here for forever if I read it all to you. But it actually breaks down what you should avoid, what you should eat to balance your doshas. So it's very helpful. And unfortunately, that when you're imbalanced and you're craving sweet and salty things all the time, they're going to tell you to reduce it. So it's not going to be information that you necessarily want to hear, but it will help you balance. And it's a lot easier to stick to this after you do the cleanse. Because you purge.
Yeah, that you don't have that desire.
And the sugar addiction.
Yeah,
right? I have, I think most people have a sugar addiction.
It's pretty hard it's hard not to with everything processed, and hopefully you don't have to eat that way, but.
And sometimes I'm lazy. Let's be real, Sometimes I don't want to cook and I just want to go to MacDon, but.
Like today, I'm drinking my tea and it's warm, and even though it's how warm is it
80
outside?
out.
80 out. I'm still drinking a warmer tea, but it's holy basil, and I put a teaspoon of ghee in and a teaspoon of honey. So it's not that you don't have to have the sweet, because it wants you to balance it. But I will tell you that I drink more sweet. I'm eating more sweets now, and then when I do up my cleanse in a couple of weeks, I just don't even crave them.
and your stomach shrinks and you feel good. I notice when I start to get a lot of back pimples that it's time for me to do the cleanse. My body just has toxins in it. You really do feel great.
For me, because I'm in the over 50 group, I will start having hot flashes.
No.
And when I start having
21.
hot flashes, they tell you it's part of your liver. I know a lot of my friends have, what's that, cirrhosis? What was the...
Rosacea?
No, that's for your cheeks. What's on your...
I have no idea.
Dry elbows and skin, eczema.
Oh, good one.
And that actually I've been told, I haven't had it, but they say cleansing because it's in your liver. It's actually toxins in your liver. It's just the way your body is processing them. And so if you can get rid of those toxins, you'll be surprised what comes out. But again, it's a unique thing. I've had people do it only with me once or twice, but
it's rough. She's my mother and I love her very much, but it is rough. And so just be aware. And also just, I recommend getting this book from your library. I'm sure they have an ebook copy somewhere, Amazon.
Oh, it's great.
And I think that I had my mom's help to guide me through because I didn't really jump on board until like 5 years ago. But I do think having somebody like a Shame Sue or somebody to walk you through if this is something, if you're having a lot of digestive problems and you're sick all the time and you can just tell that something's off and this sounds right, I would recommend going through a professional.
Exactly, especially if you're on medication. And that was the other thing I did forget to say. I was on 5 medications before I started Ayurveda, and what was that, 15 years ago? So I was in my 40s, late 30s, and I got off of all 5 medications. But it was through her, through guidance.
Yeah, and they do herbal, right? Like it's supplements, and so. They do a lot of special herbal blends. Like they have like I think a Pitta Digest pill that they make, and so getting guidance and then sticking to it because it's just like anything else, right? Like it's just like diet and exercise. It's gonna take 6 to 8 months, but my mom was a much different person 20 years ago. Her eyes are clear. She's full of love and positivity. She's happy all the time. She's not sick all the time. That was something that she struggled with
all the time. And now the problem I'm having now is I have to break all those patterns that I got. So now I feel well, but I still want to go sleep because that's my comfort and my pattern that I'm breaking.
So stay tuned. We'll continue to break patterns and let us know if you have questions on Ayurveda. Let us know what your thoughts are and check back in because the cleanse is coming in hot. So.
There are a lot of factors to Ayurveda. In fact, it can go into religion. I stayed with my Christian religion because that's what worked that's what I believe in.
And how did you tie that to Ayurveda?
I'm not sure if I can do it. It was so different with each one. But we're temples that we have. God gave us temples and to treat it and to be obedient to the temple. And I think with other diets, because I guess any diet is just a dietary process, but with Ayurveda, I was able to be obedient to my temple because I wasn't doing this, I was keeping here. And Ayurveda was my aha moment. I went, this is it.
And it really does turn into your lifestyle. You start to choose things like, don't get me wrong, I have garlic bread. But I don't have it as regular as I used to. It's a really special treat. And you know what? I have heartburn all night when I have it. So you start to listen to your body and you start to know and you rationalize with yourself if that is worth it to you. And because when you start to feel good after not feeling good for so long, it's a big difference. You're like, oh man, I didn't realize how I lived with being sick for, I would say probably 20 years you were sick.
Oh, big time.
Since you were a baby, you said.
Actually, since I was a baby, it started my digestive problems. Because you think about it, how many people really eat soup for meals? And oatmeal wasn't my friend. So my dad actually made cream of rice, and that was one of my favorites. So the favorite things I remember were probably
healthy for your dosha. And the cleanse, I think the cleanse, getting all the toxins out, is a very integral part.
Agree. So, well, let us know. Wish you luck, and we will be checking back with our cleanse that will start.
Don't worry, that'll be a fun one. blackgrayandwhite1@gmail.com. Send us some love.
Scroll to the bottom, leave your comments. We look forward to reading them.
All right,
you.
sending y'all the light, guys. Bye.